Welcome to Haunting Highlights. The Haunted Cabin in the Woods. The night was dark and silent as I drove down the narrow, winding road that cut through the dense forest. The trees loomed overhead like silent sentinels, their branches swaying in the gentle breeze. I'd been driving for hours, and the isolation of the forest was starting to get to me. Suddenly, I spotted a faint glimmer of light through the trees, a cabin nestled deep within the woods. Relief flooded through me as I realized I had finally found shelter for the night. As I approached the cabin, I noticed something odd. The windows were boarded up and the door hung off its hinges at an odd angle. But I pushed aside my unease and stepped inside, desperate for a place to rest. The interior was dimly lit by a single flickering candle, casting long shadows across the floor. The air was thick with dust and mildew, and the room had a musty, abandoned smell. Ignoring the ominous atmosphere, I made my way to the fireplace and set about building a fire. As the flames crackled and danced, casting a warm glow across the room, I began to relax, feeling the tension ease from my shoulders. But my peace was short-lived. As I settled down on the threadbare couch, I heard a faint scratching sound coming from the walls. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest as I strained to listen. The scratching grew louder and more insistent, echoing through the cabin like the desperate pleas of a trapped animal. Fear gripped me as I realized I was not alone in the woods. I grabbed a flashlight from my bag and cautiously approached the source of the noise, a boarded-up doorway at the back of the cabin. With trembling hands, I pried off the boards and shone the light into the darkness beyond. What I saw made my blood run cold. Huddled in the corner of the room was a figure, a woman, her face contorted in agony as she clawed desperately at the walls. Her eyes met mine, pleading for help. I wanted to run, to flee from the cabin and never look back, but something held me in place. A sense of obligation, perhaps, or morbid curiosity. With a shaky voice, I called out to the woman, asking her who she was and how she had ended up there. But she didn't answer. Instead, she let out a blood-curdling scream that echoed through the cabin, chilling me to the bone. And as I watched in horror, she vanished into thin air, leaving behind nothing but a lingering sense of dread. I stumbled backwards, my heart racing as I realized the truth. The cabin was haunted, and I was trapped with whatever malevolent force lurked within its walls. With a desperate sense of urgency, I fled from the cabin, not daring to look back as I plunged into the darkness of the forest. As I ran, I could feel eyes watching me from the shadows, and the sounds of the forest seemed to come alive with a sinister intent. But I pressed on, driven by a primal fear that urged me to escape the horrors of the haunted cabin in the woods, lest they consume me whole. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, do like and subscribe.